Let's talk about some Slayer.
Join the debate, bring your own cup. Hard rockin' kings with a full plate. Heels and quads, you can't run late.
We did South of Heaven versus Seasons of the Abyss. I already told you the dates earlier. I don't want to look them up again, which I haven't pulled.
88 and 90. That's fine.
88 and 90. Yeah, there we go. South of Heaven, the title track opens it. Cool story about this one. This shirt I'm wearing, for those watching the video, I bought this when I saw them here. I think 2019, I think it was.
Yeah,
August.
their farewell tour.
Yeah, the Repentless trilogy or whatever. And the one, if you watch that online, I think that is the playlist or the set list that I saw, at least very similar. So the title track, South of Heaven. Anyways, I have a video where it's raining. The rain had started and the riff band, and the glow, like it was really cool. So I'll have to find the video, but anyways, iconic evil riff opens the track. The drums roll and thud. I love that. Tom speaks the dark lyrics and leads into an impossible not to headbang riff. The pre-chorus has the double bass roll in, the chorus with the blasts, and the guitar solos rip the outro. And then I wrote live rain video to remember to say that. But
if you find it, send it and I'll edit it into the main one.
Yeah,
when we put it out in a month.
I might have others too. I'll have to see.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, dude, that verse riff, just when it picks up, I fucking love that, man, because I love me a good, just, I don't know, a headbanging riff. Seasons of the Abyss opens with War Ensemble. I don't have a ton of notes on this one. I don't know why I did less notes on it, but it's a banger for an opener. Much more like, I don't know, it doesn't have that flow South of Heaven does. It's just very like thrashy. I wrote thrashy AF. Thrashy AF, blast, thrash beats, 16th note riffs, I think. I was trying to figure that out, like strumming. The first chorus takes you into a face-melting solo, a steady thrash pace, and craziness to kick off the album, setting the tone for the rest of it, the ups and downs of it all. So those are my notes on those two.
Okay, mine are South of Heaven. Right off the bat, I get a strong Danzig vibe. Then I look it up. Come to find out, it's produced by the great Rick Rubin, so it makes sense.
That makes sense. Yep.
Also, Dave Lombardo is currently playing the original Misfits shows with Danzig and Doyle.
There's the connection.
And Jerry Only. Had to put that little note in there, because when I saw it, I was like, who's gonna drum for him? And then I saw, I was like, that makes sense.
Dude, he's been around, man.
He's awesome, and he has a lot of praise in my notes.
Yeah.
Cool chugging riff, drums pick up for the second verse. Love the riff. Good opening track. Note ringing out is a nice touch. I love that when they end the song with one fucking sustained note.
Yeah,
I love that, because then it goes right into the second track, which War Ensemble. I have Slayers that fucking around with this one. Apparently the army was using this to hype up the troops during Desert Storm, and I
War
get it.
Ensemble?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
This song would definitely amp you up to fuck shit up. Those are my notes on that one.
Man, they're both good tracks, but the immediate winner for me is South of Heaven.
Yeah.
Because it's just, wow, that's South of Heaven.
I like that riff.
Anyways, War Ensemble's cool. It was cool seeing it live, but South of Heaven was cooler.
It's definitely, that would be something like we would have played in like the weight room in high school for football.
Yeah, for sure.
To get
pumped
up.
It's just got that, like, it's just constant.
Yeah. But okay. I'm with you. South of Heaven is a fucking killer song.
Let me note that. And that's one of their more well-known ones. Like War Ensemble is too, but South of Heaven is like a top track.
I had to do some set list looky-loos and try to see kind of out of these songs what was played.
Yeah.
And it feels like, I feel like Seasons of the Abyss has more, but I could be wrong.
That's one that I would say yes, because there's a couple more on there that are, yeah. Like
I'm right.
War Ensemble, Blood Red gets played. Dead Skin Mask. I've seen Expendable Youth on there before. Dead Skin Mask. Did I say that already?
Yeah.
I wrote that twice.
Seasons of
Skeleton
the Abyss,
Society, the Seasons
obviously.
of the Abyss. Those are kind
Skeletons
of
of Society did get played, or does get played live,
it does get played occasionally. I think it's
or
not
did,
like,
I guess.
yeah,
They're done now, but
yeah.
they seem like a band that's pretty honest. Like, hey, we're done. It's over. I kind of believe them.
Yeah, and when
they've
Jeff
made
Hanneman
money.
passed, yeah. It's kind of not that Gary Holt has done a bad job at all, but
Well, Jeff Hanneman was their preliminary, like, predominant songwriter, right?
I'm not for sure on that. But I
Okay.
know him and Carrie would definitely do the guitars and top. I mean, they all would write for the most part,
Yeah.
as far as I know. But I'll look at it here in a second.
I don't remember which of these albums it said all tracks by Jeff Hanneman, unless otherwise noted. And then there was a couple where, you know, Tom or Carrie had a kind of a say in it.
So Seasons is all Jeff Hanneman and Carrie King, and then South of Heaven, at least on the track, like who wrote the music.
Yeah.
Yeah, both albums is mostly Carrie King and yeah. South of Heaven is all Jeff Hanneman unless noted, which Carrie King did Silent Scream and Ghosts of War. Otherwise, and then of course the Priest cover is KK Downing and Glenn Tipton. But
Right.
Yeah. So Jeff was the primary songwriter. That's actually news to me. I didn't know because I thought Tom was in on a lot of it too.
Tom didn't have anything on either of these records?
Not on these, no.
Okay, maybe it was something else I was looking at then. Because once we start doing this and I get through them, then I start just deep diving, and then it all gets mishmashed.
Yeah.
Crisscross applesauce.
So next up, we got Silent Scream versus Blood Red. Silent Scream, the famous Slayer key kicks us off with a thudding double bass, steady in the mix. I like the pre-chorus with Tom describing the words, and he uses murder. Solos, like he says the word, and then he kind of like not necessarily describes it, but like he'll say the word and then follows it with like a script of like something to do with that word. Solos in the style of Slayer as per usual, which that's every track. So usually that mid song kind of it's craziness.
I noted on this one.
The post solo number 1 bridge is heavy as fuck. And then Blood Red, we get the diminished chords for the dark sound to open. Sick riff and chugs follow. I could listen to Slayer chug riffs all fucking day. A headbanger from start to finish. Those are my notes on those two.
Those are his notes. Silent Scream, I have Here We Go. This is what I signed up for from the final note of the title track, the sustain. We are roundhousing in the mosh pit now. Emphasis on the cymbal, like you were talking about on, I think it might have been the last show we were talking about. You know, on the with the words and shit.
Oh yeah, like the
yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking love that too. And it was noticeable on these two records. Like, a lot.
There's a lot of that going on.
Killer Bee solo, but it fits. That's where this band gets a bad rap as far as mainstream, like, you know, with the satanic bullshit, and like I don't get those vibes at all.
No,
listening to it.
It's a theme, man.
It's all about the imagery. And I also have, dare I say, Cooler Than Metallica. And then Blood Red, I have Holy Shit, this riff fucking rules. Drums are kicking. Sucks that this is Dave Lombardo's last record until 2006. That's all I have for that one.
Yeah,
that was one of those ones I had to just listen to.
Yeah, and Blood Red's a killer song.
Yeah, it is.
I thought that was what it was because I knew Dave didn't do the 90s albums. It's Divine Intervention and Diabolus and Musica, and I think that's their only 90s albums.
I was kind of surprised they only did 12 solo albums.
Yeah, they don't have a lot, man, but because they have so many bangers on them,
both of these charted really well. Like, South of Heaven, I saw in the US, the Billboard albums, it was like 57, which is good for a fucking metal record.
Mm-hmm.
And then Seasons it topped out at 40, which is really fucking good.
Yeah, especially because like 1990 music was changing at that point. Like we had Guns N' Roses, Nirvana,
Yeah,
Pearl Jam, all that stuff was
we were
beginning.
heading into the grunge era.
Yeah,
So
alternative and grunge.
And I mean, obviously, like pop albums are always going to be there. Like,
Oh yeah,
I
they're always
kind of
gonna be the
hate
top
that on music
charters.
documentaries when they're like, "Oh, well, grunge came in and changed the world." Yeah, but also pop music was always there, and there wasn't a
Yeah,
huge difference between like a pop song from '87 and a pop song from '93. They all kind of sound the same.
yeah.
And
Same chord
hey, and you know
progressions.
what? Back then, I fucking hated that pop shit. I was all
Mhm.
about the hair bands and
Yeah,
older
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But like now that I'm older, kind of like a little bit of everything. I'll throw on
Yeah,
some
you
fucking Paula
grow into
Abdul.
it. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Paul Abdul all day. Straight
Plus,
up, now tell me. Anyways,
hopefully the wives aren't listening to that one.
yeah. Paul Abdul could you could
We
go on
didn't
a
pick.
date. Yeah, man. I'm blood red here. I like blood red a lot because of the chugs. And that feel. I think I'm just a little more familiar. But then again, silent scream. Da 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 da.
Me personally, I would say Silent Scream because I took more notes. That's how I'm going to gauge this one.
Okay.
But also, I took less notes on Blood Red, so that tells you that I was listening to the song.
You were very interested in what was happening.
I'm good with Blood Red.
Okay. If you're good with it.
I'm good with it. I just like this flowing of we agree. Like who can persuade the other more?
Okay, yeah. I like it. Okay, up next, Live
If you
Undead.
disagree, chime in the comments below.
Turn on post notifications.
That'll be the title card or whatever.
So, but it has to be like obnoxiously like you gotta be in the camera.
Stuff is so stupid. Why do people do it?
It's fucking thumbnails, clickbaity thumbnails.
Yeah,
Who clicks on it though? When I see it, I'm like, I'm not clicking on
that. I don't like that guy's face. I'm not watching this.
Fuck his face. Live Undead from South of Heaven versus Slayer. Slayer. Live Undead. Jeff and Carrie guitar pans are to die for. I love the back and forth between Jeff and Carrie.
Very Judas Priest.
Yeah, man. And you can tell they're inspired by him too. Yep. With the cover here. Yeah, their guitar pans always get me. Fast riff for the halftime-ish feel to the drums. It's not halftime-ish at all, I don't think. But wait, is this the one? The kick and snare while the hi-hat is doing eighth notes. Oh, yeah. So not halftime at all. But it just has that whenever Slayer is not doing double bass and a kick drum or four on each note or on each beat, then it's like that's halftime for Slayer. But anyways, I like that on
their halftime is different from other halftimes.
Yeah. They changed.
If you were going to confuse them,
if you were going to confuse halftime, Slayers would be a different category.
It's different from a Super Bowl halftime presented by Pepsi.
Well, yeah, not to be confused with that.
Because you would.
Well, yeah, of course. I just always love a driving riff, just over like that feel on drums. Two choruses get us to a mini solo and a pounding bridge type thing. I don't know if it was a bridge or what, but I'm just going to call it that. The intro riff makes its way back to haunt us in a good way. Jeff and Carrie trade solos, giving Tom a moment in between to tell the story. That's for Live Undead. And then Spirit in Black, the usual suspect riff for Slayer, makes you nod your head and want to pick up a guitar. Chugs in between leads are always pleasant as well. A normal solo or just less whammy? Never mind. Riff change over to blast beats for the bridge. Riff change over blast beat. Oh yeah, it seemed like the riff was a little different over the bridge. The bridge riff was different with the blast beats. I guess that's what I was thinking. And then the solo rips with the dope backing riff, keeping your ears listening both ways. I don't know why, but I heard the solo in the right speaker and the backing riff and the left just keeping the chugs rolling in Spirit in Black. So yeah, that's my notes.
Okie dokie.
Kind of rambly, my notes.
That's
I
fine.
love
That's how
it.
mine usually are. Mine are very simple and to the point on these. Live Undead, right?
Yeah.
More of a mellow start than shredding guitars. Drums are incredible. Tom has a killer scream. There's one little scream in there that I was just like, whoa, that's a little different, you know?
Oh yeah.
And lead vocals by a bassist, very metal. Then Spirit in Black, I have love the drums and guitar playing well together. Awesome guitar work, stands out as different than other songs. I'd have to listen to it again, but there's something about this song, the structure of it, I guess, or just the way it vibes. It's just very
Spirit in Black.
Yeah, it feels different than the other songs on both of these records.
Which is nice because you do get
it's nice
the
to
Slayer
a
formula.
little bit of a change.
Yeah. The Slayer
just
formula,
that long,
the thrash formula, if
yeah.
you will. That's
enough. But yeah. But yeah, listen to these. Like I said, not super familiar with Slayer. Like I know Rain and Blood, the whole album, and I knew some of these songs, but it's been so long since I listened to it because it's not really my thing. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Like I get why they're popular. It's cool to listen to, but that's kind of like I liked it because it was refreshing to me. It was something different. But like you said, you're not, if you listen to it 24/7, it's gonna start running together.
Yeah,
like
for
you're
sure.
not gonna be able to tell a difference.
Like if I'm having a thrash day, I gotta mix in something else too.
I get that way with like I'll do like a Misfits day. I won't play Danzig at all, but I'll play just Misfits. But there'll be like a break, like maybe 3 hours in, where I'm like, okay, I need a break.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it, but I wake up in those moods where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna listen to this today.
But yeah.
Where are you leaning?
I don't know. I love that riff in Live Undead. It's a tough one. I think I'm leaning more Live Undead.
I was gonna say I like that one. That scream to me was cool. So different that I really dug that one.
Tom's got some pipes on him, man, when he wants to bust them out.
It's weird, man. I have a note about it. I'm not gonna say anything because I have a note about it. Okay. Should be coming up pretty quick.
Yeah, we'll go Live Undead. That'll work. That's cool.
My note is on Read Between the Lies.
Okay.
Tom's voice.
All right. Next up, we got Behind the Crooked Cross from South of Heaven versus Expendable Youth from Season of the Abyss. Behind the Crooked Cross, you got pre-death metal music. This makes you want to mosh immediately and drive really fast, or drive really fast. Crooked Cross, and then the pause, and then the solo thrash. Crooked Cross, pause, solo thrash. That's what I wrote. Staccato chugs, pre-second solo. I love those. A banger here, but a tough fight against Expendable Youth. Expendable Youth, this far in, I now know where I got all those riffs when I was a kid, because I would always just dance. I always did shit like that on guitar, just like when I would pick it up and play. So this one is another standout headbanger or hard not to song. Here is the sweeping solo with wild whammies. I think Kerry King is the whammy guy, if I remember correctly, and I believe that's correct. Dave Lombardo is a beast on the kit. I can't forget to mention that. This listening this far in, it kind of just hit me. I was like, this is these riffs were very inspiring to me as a kid because I always wanted to play thrash shit on guitar. So yeah.
Okay, quick kind of sidetrack. How did you find Slayer? Like, was it a gateway drug, or what? Were you led to it by other things?
I'm assuming I was probably led to it by other things because the first band,
I kind of see you being more like Metallica, and then you found Slayer through
Yes,
Metallica,
that's exactly where I was going.
and kind of Anthrax, same. You kind of led to them through Metallica.
Anthrax was the last one to the party for me of the big four.
Okay.
Regrettably, but
yeah,
in a way, I guess they were. So it was like when I was a kid, I heard the 90s music, I heard Ozzy, I heard Metallica, all that shit. And then when I was about 5 or 6, somebody gave me the Black album or gave it to my mom, but I took it and I was like, cool, look what I got. And I listened to the Black album and I was like, this is fucking cool. Yeah. And
somebody gave it to my mom and I yoinked that shit too.
So I listened to that and then like couldn't have been very long after. Of course, that's back when there was no digital music. So it was, hey, grandma. I stayed with my grandma when my mom would work on the weekends or whatever. And I had her take me to the store and I got Injustice for All and Master of Puppets. And then I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. And
did you notice then on Injustice for All there's no bass?
Not back then. It was just like, listen to Blackened over and over again. But yeah, Metallica started it. And then, man, I can't remember the exact moment I heard Slayer, but I know that Raining Blood was definitely the first song, or Postmortem / Raining Blood. I got that album when I was young, but I'd say like it exploded for me. Music did like towards 8 to 10 years old. Probably, man, I wish I could.
That's when it hit for me too.
It was about 10 when I really like blew up in it. And that was when it was like Slayer and Megadeth. I think Megadeth might have been first because I always heard that comparison, Megadeth, Metallica, blah, 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 one's better than the other, whatever. And then I found Slayer and I was like, this is fucking different and it's fucking cool. And I loved it right away. Because
when I was young, I liked Kiss and like White Snake and shit, because that was what was always getting played in the cars. Elvis obviously was always there. I listened to a lot of country because my mom was super into country. My dad was a little bit, but not as much as her. She's the Southern gal.
Yeah.
I was big into Garth Brooks, and when he did the Kiss tribute album and Garth was on it, I was like, oh shit, this changes everything, because it's like two of my favorite things coming together. But like I remember being like super big into Metallica, like at that time, like or later, a little later on, a couple years later. And then like Jimi Hendrix, and then I got my first electric guitar when I was like 8. So my mom said that she was like, she knew it was over, like I was becoming a music person when I started listening to Jimi Hendrix. She was like, I knew there was no changing your mind on anything. Like she was always really supportive over everything I listened to. So even if it was something she didn't really like, she would listen to it because I liked it. And because she would like to hear the little facts and shit in the car that I put like a cassette in. I'm like, listen to this. Okay. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the backstory.
When you're a kid and the shit, you absorb it so much better. I wish I remembered all those facts, but man, the shit I knew about bands and stuff when I was a kid, like, it's just like the most ridiculous facts that you just figure out.
Is like, new music sucks so bad. And I think that's why, like, all my kids like my music,
which is good.
Yeah, and it's like, it's kind of sucks though, because they can't find anything on their own because music's so shitty now, and like all they do is like play video games and watch YouTube. Like I wanted to get Hunter a record player, his own record player, and started like getting his own vinyls and stuff.
Yeah,
but he was like, no. Like, come on, man, do something.
They'll get there. They just gotta.
I hope.
It depends a lot of times who you're hanging out with. Man, yeah, if it's not cool with your friends.
That's kind of true.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I got a lot of my friends that help.
Like for me, it wasn't though, because I was always like, this is what I listened to at home. This is what I grew up listening to. My friends were like country music or rap, and I was always like, yeah, I like this, but my shit's like rock and metal, and it's always gonna be.
It's always hard when you clash genres with friends because you're like, oh, let's listen to this. And then somebody's like, I don't want to. That doesn't work. I was always one, I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna listen to what you like, and I'm gonna wait my turn, but we're gonna have to start taking turns because I can't listen to shit all day.
Yeah,
especially the rap.
I like too.
The rap ones were the worst for me. Like old school, I could do it all day.
Yeah, old school rap's great.
Like there's a few that I'm just like, okay, Eminem.
There's a
Predominantly
lot of
Eminem.
Eminem was always that was
I couldn't do
so.
it.
As
His
a
voice
kid,
just gets on
though,
my fucking nerves.
Eminem was like one of my favorite
Oh,
things
I
ever.
get it.
So that
I
was
get it.
probably 6 to 8 or so, or 9 maybe. Like Eminem was
And
like,
that's young.
and Dr. Dre. Yeah, man, I was listening to that shit too early, man. South Park, all that. Like
Oh
that's
yeah,
why I am
dude.
the way I am.
I'm rewatching South Park again. I've been watching it the
But
last couple of nights. Anyways, I don't remember
that
where we
kind of
were.
fills that gap. It was Eminem, Metallica, and then like all the other stuff. We were on Behind the Crooked Cross and
Oh,
Expendable Youth.
and you did yours, and it's my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Behind the crooked.
Yeah.
Sound like my tongue got stung by a bee. Behind the crooked cross, if I could say it. Love this riff. So far, each song gets to the point. No long drawn pauses in between tracks. Love that. Drums stand out again. Apparently, Jeff hated this song. Tommy, however, likes it. I fucking hate scrolling through notes. Expendable Youth, right?
Yeah.
This is a fist pumper. Love the kick. Almost sounds like a White Zombie track. Again, guitars feel a little different than on other songs.
Oh yeah, that Behind the Crooked Cross, that riff. Yeah. Dig it. It's like no matter what, I always have to, even if I've heard the songs, I have to refresh. Yeah, because it's like like I said, man, shit bleeds together.
Especially
This is a tough one.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 50-50 split, so whatever you say, I'm rolling with.
This one, man, it's 50-50 because I could go either way here. These are so evenly matched in just song and song structure. Fuck, it's tough. But I like that on Expendable Youth.
I was gonna say I'm going Expendable Youth if I have to.
Am I? I'm good with. Hold on. What was it? Yeah, it's that I like that shit. So
it just seemed a little different to me.
Yeah, it's a little different pace. Anyways, I kind of need to pick up the pace, but it's hard to do that because this is enjoyable. Okay, next up, Mandatory Suicide versus Dead Skin Mask. These are two songs that are always played live.
And real quick, my question kind of slowed us up. So no more questions, Your Honor.
Well, onward. I mean, we can ask questions. I like talking about that, but shit, we could do an episode sometime about discovering music and just going like that would be cool.
That would actually
just to talk about like the timeline of music, go in depth about it.
Yeah.
Because I'd love to tell my story of finding Iron Maiden and shit too. So
yeah.
Anyways, yeah, Mandatory Suicide versus Dead Skin Mask. So Mandatory Suicide, iconic Slayer versus Slayer this year. Opening riff is another of theirs you can't forget, and just well known of the Slayer riffs. A lot of them have that same kind of key and feel to it, but this one is a particular we know that one because it's played live all the time. How the fuck can you not headbang to this? Tom's bass adds depth in those quieter parts and throughout, which is throughout the whole album, but this one I don't know why I just noticed it. You can actually hear the bass, which is cool in thrash, which it happens, but I just had to mention it. His bass is very much part of these songs' rhythm. Yes, Levi. All treble without. Again, yes, Levi. Sample or spoken word at the end. I couldn't really tell, but it does sound like Tom talking.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
Lets loose. Yeah. I was like, I think that's him, but I don't know because they use samples here and there, but it was.
This is definitely one I wish I would have listened to on my big speakers, not with earbuds.
Just do it after. It's a good
one.
It's a must do.
Yeah.
If you want to, you don't.
I mean, yesterday when I was watching the live concerts and stuff, like kids would keep coming out and like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're like, what is this? This is different.
Dead Skin Mask, the trading back and forth of this legendary riff, dude. And then that one picks up and then back and forth. Dude, that's like still gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. No, I flipped to the next page. A song I couldn't wait to hear live. This was one I was like, I cannot fucking wait to hear them go back and forth like that. Killer pre-solo riffage to bring us to another ripper from the boys. Did the song end? Nope. Here is that, and here is that, and some more intro. Here is that. What? Nope. Here is that, and some intro riff again.
I love that you do the handwritten notes, but watching you struggle to read your own handwriting just fucking kills me, dude.
And here's that and some intro riff again with what sounds like a meteor version of the verse and pre-chorus, because it is. I think it's like an octave lower or just a fifth, like they're playing the fifth or something there. I couldn't really tell, but the added lead makes it so sick. Chorus to outro us. I don't know what he says, but you know, listen to the hollow screams. Deadskin Mask is one of my favorite Slayer songs, but Mandatory Suicide also is. But for me, it's a clear win. It's a winner. Spoiler alert. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, god damn, at least let me tell my notes, right? Mandatory Suicide. This one is probably the one I know best, as I've heard it the most out of the songs off the record. Yeah. Which makes sense that it became a fixture, because obviously that the people that I know that listen to Slayer have played it enough for me to remember it. Fixture live is what I meant by that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm typing there. I like the track. Deadskin Mask. Vocally, my favorite so far. Dance with the Dead in My Dreams. Listen to their hallowed screams. That is a fucking cool ass line, dude. Perfect midway point track on the record. A lot going on, but it's structured so well. Tough to beat this one. So I think I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, man. It is one that, like, if
that's the only song that I took the time to actually pick that line out, and I was like, that's cool.
The lyrics in it are so cool, and man, the guitars, but like,
it's another one that's just kind of different too. They're both good.
Yeah, it is though. Deadskin Mask is a little different with just the pacing and like the song structure. Like it's changed up a little bit.
And vocally, you can kind of pull the fucking lyrics out a little bit better than. Yeah. I don't know if maybe it's something. Maybe Tom's voice is just more. Like I had this on another track too, on South of Heaven. But his voice just seems more out in front on a couple of songs, and then others he's like really overpowered by everything going. And not that his voice is a power, but it's kind of
interesting. Yeah. Because sometimes it's like
it's more about
really
the music,
catch what he's saying. And some of the musical parts where he's with it, and those are usually the standout tracks that are on set lists. Are the ones that you can really hear him and the band,
and you can sing.
Yeah, Deadskin Mask is a clear winner for me. Like Mandatory Suicide is a great Slayer song. And it's, one of those top 10 songs that will not make a set list, but Deadskin Mask is my song, man. Okay, Ghosts of War versus Hollowed Point. Ghosts of War, it kind of tripped me out at first. I haven't heard it in a long time, but it sounds like a low pass filter is active at the start. It is, because I was like, why is this set? Oh, and then they turn it off and go to the unleashing after the intro.
Shout out to Cool Edit Pro, by the way, for teaching me what that meant.
Yeah.
The low pass filter.
Because low pass is where you get the highs, high pass is where you get the lows, because you pass those.
If you edit any music or vocals and you mess with shit like that, be careful.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, what the fuck just happened? Whoa, my voice does not sound like that.
One of the less played songs off of these two, at least for me, is Ghost of War. Not a bad track, just not a standout right away, but that bridge riff and jam leads into a solo, gets my nips hard. Chugs after that to bring me back. It's just a mid-album song, it's one of those, just like, it's a Slayer song. Hallowed Point, fast and thrashy, solo less than a minute in. I think it was like 40 seconds, a mini. Kind of like its opponent, it is that mid-album song I've played a lot less, still a jam nonetheless. Again, the bridge ropes me back into headbang with that sick lead riff and ripper solos. So for me, both of these are kind of those mid-album songs that I'm like, yeah, it's thrash, they're cool, I headbang, you know.
Done.
So
Every time you say Ripper, I think of Tim Ripper Owens, by the way. Ghosts of War. This to me feels like the heaviest song of the record so far. Love the drum fill after the first verse. It kind of goes quiet and then another driving riff. Maybe my favorite guitar work so far off this album. Tom's vocals are more out in front on this one. That was Ghost of War. And then Hallowed Point. Holy Thrash. This one is in your face right away. Seems to be a trend. Anything less than 3.5 minutes here is an ear fuck.
yeah.
Like I noticed on the track listings, like the times. And seriously, like if it's less than 3.5 minutes or like maybe even 3:45, it's gonna be
It's gonna be just craziness.
Yeah. It's like Misfits. Like they would have songs that were like 1:47. You're like, why is this even its own song? But then you get to it and you're like, oh, that's why.
I'm trying to go back and forth right now, man. I got to figure this one out because it's kind of tough.
I always thought their songs were longer, though. Honestly,
they're
not super long, though.
No,
like
there's
Seasons
some that
of
are
the
like
Abyss,
Seasons
the song
was
was almost 7 minutes.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I just felt like more of them were longer.
There's that 40-second solo right there. It's
not
it's
a lot of
one
words, honestly.
Huh?
Not a lot of words.
No. And which one? Both?
In any of them. I mean, they're not. I mean, Tom really doesn't sing all that much
because he's fucking rocking that bass, man.
He's slapping a bass. Is he a finger or is he a pick guy?
No, he's a pick guy.
Oh, okay.
It's very fast. I mean, I'm sure somebody can finger pick it, but
yep. Okay. I'm having to like think back and I'm trying to think of bass lines. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can tell it's a pick.
It's a tough one for me because they're so equal in stature. Just like they're both just kind of that, like it's just song 6 on the album. They're both just thrashy as shit. They don't let up. I could like go by the track title. Like Ghosts of War is a really cool name.
I like Ghosts of War better.
And I do like Ghosts of War.
If I'm picking.
I'm good with Ghosts of War. Let's just pick it because this one's like it's really like it doesn't matter.
You were I could tell you were on board for either one.
Yeah. Read Between the Lines versus Skeletons of Society. Read Between the Lines might have never heard this one. A regret. Slayer riffs slay. Diminished chord makes the song's verse so sick. Another influence that they gave to modern metal, because every modern metal song you're going to hear some sort of diminished or broken chord to give that frantic feel. Frantic vibes in the verses.
Don't say that word.
Frantic?
Yeah, makes me think of Saint Anger.
Frantic, tick, 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 tock. Vibes in the verses heading to the end. Frantic vibes in the verses heading to the end. Feel like I've found a B-side that I love. I did really like Read Between the Lines. I don't remember it a lot. Skeletons of Society. This is one I do know. Marching-esque drums and guitars to open. Simple but effective guitar riff. There must be whammy after a chorus or verse. The drums are the one in the kick, snare, kick, snare. That 1, 2, 3, 4. Every one of them's got just that pattern. Kick, snare, repeat. Cool outro with drums and guitars. Major headbanger. I like Skeleton Society a lot. But Read Between the Lines was a cool one because I feel like I discovered a new song. That's it.
Okay. For Read, really love that there aren't any frills. By that I mean there's no like, it's nothing flashy. It's just let's do this. Let's get to the point and let's move on. That was my next note. I should have read instead of talking. Here's our next one. Dig or don't, we don't give a fuck. Slayer. Tom will never be a top vocalist on a Rolling Stone list, but his delivery of each song is excellent. And by that I just mean vocal range. It's not, he's not going to be he's not Freddie Mercury. You know what I mean?
No.
But for what it is, for his
he belongs in Slayer. Yeah.
It's awesome. I didn't want to upset any Slayer hardcore elitists, you know.
Oh, you'll upset him.
That's fine. Skeletons of Society. Yes, this intro is fucking awesome. Little pause, then it kicks back in. I don't know why I got a visual of them walking down the street and pushing an old woman down, but I did, and it made me laugh. Killer track, I love it. I can just see her walking down the street. Get the fuck out of my way. Yeah.
She's like, oh.
Those must be those Slayer boys.
This one for
I'm
me,
sure they all love their grandmothers, by the way.
Well, of course, yeah. Grandma Araya.
I don't know why I thought of that.
That was the visual.
Like, I have to fucking write that down because that's all I can see, and it just made me laugh. Like an old lady with a shopping cart.
Yeah, I like that visual. I'm Skeletons Society here. I'm
with you.
It's a cool fucking song.
If I have a note where you're pushing an old lady down,
yeah, that's a good song, man. If that's the vision you get. Yeah. But we both had the like walking thing go. Like it's like the beat, man.
Yeah.
Like you walk to that beat.
It's like Staying Alive. When that comes on, you think of John Travolta walking down the fucking sidewalk.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Pushing old ladies.
Eating the fucking pizza.
Read Between the Lines is cool, man. But
yeah, it was a cool song.
Like I love that riff with the
show. All right, we
diminish.
got 3 left.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Dude, it's been back and forth, I think, the whole time.
Really?
No, 4 and 5 on Seasons was the first, but other than that, it's crisscross.
So Seasons has more.
Seasons has one up right now, I think.
Okay. I just don't. We could have. I mean, we could have a fucking tie.
We could.
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna decide that.
We'll have to switch an X. Okay. Cleanse the Soul versus Temptation. A song not unlike the others is Cleanse the Soul. Thrash does that to me. Albums run together. Slayer slays, but it does get fuzzy towards the end. Mid-song verse is sweet how fast it is. Not at all a song I wouldn't throw the horns up for, but not one I would instantly recognize. Nonetheless, another banger in their arsenal. And then Temptation. Tom's panning vocals and finishing the lyrics is so awesome. How he's like, like it goes back and forth like that. I love the pans, if you can't tell, in all of our album reviews.
Mm-hmm.
Gives it the song gives what?
It makes you feel surrounded. The pans.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Gives it the same vibe as he says something insanity. He says something about insanity, and it gives you that like insanity vibe. I can't fucking read, man. These damn what I write down sometimes like, doesn't make sense.
On phonics for Christmas.
Today, Junior. Yeah, it gives it that. He says something about insanity, but it gives it that insanity vibe.
If I had handwritten notes, I would have no idea what it says.
Yeah. Kind of makes you feel crazy, and I think that's what they were going for. Post solo lead into a sick breakdown. Another part of a song I'm a sucker for. Any kind of breakdown. Breakdown verse is awesome. Double bass is kind of unnecessary, but they are Slayer, so they pull it off. There was some part of this that had like just a weird like double bass thrown in, and you're kind of like, but it works because it's Slayer. Slayer. All right, that's mine.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. The random double bass.
Yeah, towards the end, like the breakdown or something.
Cleanse the Soul, picking up the speed again. Thrashy punk? Question mark. Again, amazing drum work. I don't know why I always heard Kerry King's name. I guess because he looks cool, but Jeff doesn't get enough credit. And I didn't know he wrote the majority of the songs, so that to me
that was news to me. Yeah,
he definitely, because I always knew Kerry King because I had always bought Guitar World and shit. He was always in it for something, whether it be an interview or a poster, or he was on the cover or whatever. Like I never heard Jeff Hanneman's name really. And I wasn't, an avid Slayer guy.
Yeah, if you were
know.
more avid, you would have
Right.
heard it. But yeah,
Temptation, right?
yeah.
More roundhouse kicks in the mosh pit. Background vocals, like you were saying, the pan of the vocals back and forth. It almost gave it that vibe of like, hey, it's like I didn't hear it in any. I think there's one other song that I really noticed it in, and it kind of threw me off. What the fuck are those? More ear fucking. The drumming is incredible.
Yeah.
Trying not to piss my pants.
I got my refresher. Do you need to go?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna power through. It makes me
we got 2 left.
More amped.
Too. Yeah. Okay. I like both songs. I know I kind of was like, I kind of dissed on Cleanse the Soul. It wasn't a diss at all. I didn't mean it that way. It's just like, it's just a thrash song, you know? I'm Temptation because of the panning vocals is cool. The insane feel to it, kind of going crazy. And then the breakdown is just fucking cool. So
I'm with you because I like the vocal thing.
Yeah.
And cool. I didn't get to brag on vocals a lot on these records.
Yeah. Okay. Dissident Aggressor versus Born of Fire. Dissident Aggressor, the intro could be mistaken for a different era of time or even band. Well, I wrote that and then I was like, oh, this is a fucking Priest cover. Like I wrote that down and then it was like, I had to look this up and I looked at it and sure enough, it was because it was just totally different. Well, that is because it is a Priest cover. I enjoy this version of the song. You can tell it is a Priest song upon first listen and the riffs. Sweet cover. And then Born of Fire. Born of Fire, one of those songs that comes on and you say, that sounds like Slayer because it has that immediate sound of them. Quick song, kind of. Not a well-known one, but definitely has the Slayer formula. Fast, whammy, Tom's vocals, double bass, Slayer key. It's a Slayer song, man. And the title, you know, Born of Fire. So that's my notes.
Trying to be animated with my facial expressions while you're talking.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Dissident Aggressor, cool fucking name for a song. It's a Priest song. Possibly my favorite track so far, probably because it's a Priest song. The band is so fucking tight on this one, probably because it's a cover.
Yeah.
Everything flows and not one note is out of place because it's a fucking cover. Born of Fire. Is this the fastest song of all time? Jesus Christ. Makes me wonder, am I old? I don't know. Do I like it? Yes. I don't like having these questions, though. Maybe it's just a lot going on. Then by the second half, I'm headbanging. I'm confused. Do I need Ben Gay or do I like the pain?
I like those notes.
Thank you.
Makes Born of Fire. It really is animated for Born of Fire.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, like
I think you're thinking the same thing I am.
I like Dissident Aggressor. I like the cover of Dissident Aggressor. You know,
I love
it's a cover. So,
but
it's not their song.
It's a cover.
That's so. It was like
I feel like it loses points because it's a cover.
Because it's a cover
versus an original.
Yeah,
and that sucks. I mean,
that could go either way. It could be this is a fucking cool cover because it is, or it could be it's not their song, so it automatically doesn't get the win. You know, it's like which way do we go with that? Because I really like the cover and I want to give it the point.
I want to give it to it too, but
I think we have to give it to
I feel like we have to give it
Slayer
to the
versus
original.
Slayer. Yeah.
It's not Slayer versus Judas Priest.
Yeah. Let's do it. Born of Fire it is. Which Born of Fire is a cool song, as I said, you know.
I really
it's like kind of, and like you said, it's fast. It's fast. Is
this the fastest song of all time? Jesus Christ.
Do I need Ben Gay or do I like the pain? I like that. Okay, the final track. Spilled
It really
Blood.
did make me feel old though.
Because you're just
I'm like, and then like seriously, like I looked at the timeline thing on Apple Music and it was literally like halfway through and then I'm just like headbanging with it. And I could literally like hear like Beavis and Butthead commentary over that track for some reason.
So fast.
And then I'm like, okay, I gotta make it kind of funny with these.
Yeah. Horn of Fire takes the win because it's an original. Spill the Blood versus.
I think that's the only fair way to do it. But
yeah, I'm with you. Because I kind of like was asking in a way because I was like, I'm gonna kind of ask him because the cover is really cool. Do we give it because it's a cover and it's a really good cover?
It's a good fucking cover though. But
yeah,
it's over. It's done.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Spill the Blood versus Seasons in the Abyss, the final tracks. Spill the Blood as the picked intro. It's a very memorable one. Verse riff and opening riff is the classic Slayer sound, like the rest of the albums. I don't know why I have to keep prefacing that and saying that. One of those ending tracks that leaves on a high note or a low note.
We're big last track album guys.
Yeah. I like me a good last track. Not one I've heard a lot, but definitely remember from the album or even live shows. I don't know where, but I remembered the song when I was listening to it. Solo rips us into the intro riff again for that evil feel as Slayer does. Stay evil.
I think every album we've done, whether they've won or lost, has been solid last tracks.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. Seasons in the Abyss, I kind of blow this song because this is one of my favorite Slayer songs.
Can you blow the piss out of me, please?
Piss out of me.
Oh my god.
The intro
my
definitely
feels like it's gonna split.
The intro definitely
might have to pause. Do we have a minute?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's gotta happen.
Let it out. All right, and then Seasons in the Abyss. One of my favorite Slayer songs. I'm gonna blow the piss out of you. The intro.
I got the piss out, by the way.
Yeah. That's why we're like back at it. It's kind of a weird break. The intro definitely paints the picture of the abyss and what a season in it would feel like. Bow now, do.
One of those ominous type songs.
Yeah, that gong smash as they pluck the evil chords. Love
a good gong.
Yeah, man. Just distorted guitar joins in to bring us to the beginning of the song. Actually, those 16th notes on the guitar are something I can never forget. Power chords that fit the song as well. Drums are perfect. Tom tells the story and lets the audience go insane or commands them to. Solo is played over an upscaled version of the main riff. Spooky ending, a top 5 Slayer song for me.
My favorite gong in a song, by the way, is on God of Thunder from Alive 2.
Speaking of gong songs.
Yeah, speaking of the gong song, not to be confused with the thong song, but it's the going through God of Thunder, whatever, and then it breaks into Peter's drum solo.
Oh.
And then at the end of it, he hits the gong. He's like, and then it goes into the last verse. I am the Lord of the Wasteland. Anyways, that's
I like that.
One.
I like that. I like your passion.
Yeah. Yeah, put out the bottom teeth. What are those dogs with the bottom teeth that have the underbite?
The like Frenchies or bulldogs or whatever.
Yeah. Not to be confused with British beef, man.
No, because you could.
You could
definitely get confused with that.
Even though he didn't have an underbite, but you could. Matilda probably did. Spill the Blood, an acoustic guitar. Is it an acoustic in the intro?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It sounds like it, right?
Let me hear it. Let me do it again. I'm gonna do it again. Let's check
gassy today. Do you have sugar free?
It sounds acoustic,
like it,
but I think
also
it's probably just clean.
Yeah, it reminds me of the intro to Rock Bottom, the Kiss song. Anyways, you didn't answer my question. Do you have sugar-free stuff last night? Is that why you're gassy?
I did have. Well, they don't usually make me burp, but I did eat about 7 or 8 sugar-free wafers. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
You're not pooty today though. You're not pooty.
No poots, man.
You're not pooty in the blowfish.
Pooty. Pooty in the blowfish. Not to be confused with Flummy Killmister, the other person that I usually am.
Your other alter ego.
My other alter ego.
Jesus Christ, dude! Come September, October.
Oh yeah, I'll be like,
mad, dude.
Yeah, oh,
Hey,
frogs
we
and
got
shit.
Motorhead.
We are Motorhead. We're gonna fuck you in the ass.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I wasn't.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Anyways, back to the task at hand. An acoustic guitar. I wasn't aware Slayer played such an instrument, but you're right. It's probably just clean. Love the guitar sound. Another one that gives me that Danzig vibe, which I love. That it's like, because this is 88. That first Danzig record's also 88. Both are produced by Rick Rubin, same record label. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Love the way the solos are produced. The rest of the instruments are pushed back to give it more of a live feeling. You've spilt the blood, I have your soul. Cool ending. Seasons of the Abyss, need the break to recover. Cool intro, and that's what I meant, the break, because the intro is a little slower. You can tell something is about to happen. It's building. You aren't fooling me, Slayer. Let's do this. Oh boy, here we go. I can feel it. Come on, Slayer, stop fucking with me. More background vocals. What is this band? Love the structure of the song. Keep waiting for a dick punch. Wailing solo, love it. Honestly, pretty fucking catchy.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm drawing a penis right now. Sorry.
You're going to be banned from penis-shaped foods if you're not careful.
It is circumcised.
Shout out to Superbad.
Why are the house is always colonial and the penis is always circumcised? Fucking Robert California from The Office. This one, man, I mean, for me, it's an easy pick because I love Seasons in the Abyss. It's just the song, man. It's like it's the raining blood of the later year, these years of Slayer. Although South of Heaven, like if it was South of Heaven versus Season of the Abyss, that'd be a pretty crazy fight because
that'd be a good one.
They're both
and that's kind of what I was hoping for. I was kind of hoping for title track versus title track, but we didn't get it on this one.
But Spill the Blood is a really good track. I really like it.
I really liked it too.
But Seasons of the Abyss.
But by my notes, got a little silly with them.
Well, and Seasons is like just the riff, man. Like nothing beats that for me. Close your eyes, look deep in your mind, and let yourself go.
Something about it. It was just
go
like kind of peppy, vibey, catchy. Yeah. That's why I had to use that word.
Close your eyes, look deep in your mind.
I could see that one be played on the radio, honestly. If it wasn't so long.
A shorter version, of course.
Radio.
I believe Seasons in the Abyss wins. Let's take a look. Let's take a gander here.
1,
as far as
2,
ganders go. 3,
4, 5, 6. No.
I'm only seeing 3 on South of Heaven.
So 7-3.
Yeah, I think so. 1,
God
2,
damn, that was
4,
a landslide.
5, 6, 7.
Yikes.
Yeah, and it really.
Shit,
I mean,
man,
that amongst Slayer fans would be beyond debatable. So don't anybody listening don't take it with a grain of salt. It's just our bracket.
Slayer guy,
Well, and I am, but I've always liked South of Heaven. I know is a very highly regarded Slayer album, and I like it.
It was a good record.
It's not my favorite album.
To it.
I like Hell Awaits. I like Rain and Blood. I like Seasons. I like Divine Intervention. I like God Hates Us All. I like what's one before World Painted Blood. I can't remember what that one's called. I used to have it. I don't remember that name.
Blow the piss out of me.
Blow the ever living fuck out of me. Fucking piss out of me. Let's go back to Slayer's catalog here so I can look, because I do want to remember another one of their. Christ Illusion. That's the one I was thinking of.
Undisputed Attitude. Christ Illusion was the 06 one with Lombardo coming back.
Yes.
And they also won 2 Grammys off that record, I believe.
I think this one.
If I'm not mistaken.
This one is all covers, the Undisputed Attitude from the 90s. So I know it's a studio album. I don't really count it against, but Show No Mercy. Kerry King described it in an interview as your first album you you do an album like your heroes. So he said Merciful Fate. He said if you listen to Show No Mercy, it's all Merciful Fate. If you put King Diamond's vocals in there, it would fit. And then he said Hell Awaits, your like he said your third album is when you really find yourself, and that's what they did. But
That's true with every band.
Yeah.
I think I've made that statement before. That
it's like the first one was always kind of your heroes.
Yeah, it's like when we talked about you have 10 years or so to make your first record, you have 6 months to make your second record. That's usually your worst. And then your third record is usually your come out party, you know? I'm trying to look this up because I read it earlier and I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I want to be right. Yes, on the Dave Lombardo thing. I knew I was right.
Both staff did.
Yes, and they won Grammys for Eyes of the Insane and Final Six off Christ of the Illusion. Christ Illusion.
Christ Illusion is a great album. I like
Eyes of Insane won, I believe, the year it came out, which was 06, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Final Six won in 07. So that one spanned 2 years. They got 2 Grammys, 2 separate years.
I listened to Christ Illusion a lot whenever, because I bought it when it came out, and I think I was like 13 or something. But I was like, this is fucking cool. And I had God Hates Us All already.
In 2006?
Yeah.
I always forget how much older I am than you. Fuck. I was living in Fayetteville. I was already at high school.
I was already at high
school. I was a man. You know who
World
else is a
Painted
man?
Blood, I've listened to probably the least.
I'm a man.
And then Repentless, I listened to a lot a couple years ago because when I saw them live, they were kind of doing those songs. But yeah, I would say World Painted Blood is probably, well, I take that back. Undisputed Attitude, the cover album.
Well, no.
And then I had Diabolus and Musica, but I don't know what happened to it. It actually has a new metal stamp on it too. Groove metal and new metal. It's a bit different. So you know what? I'm gonna listen to Diabolus and Musica today.